Well, that had to be an incredible trip for you and Maggie. I mean, 3 weeks in Africa,
Oh yeah.
hunting 12 animals, and I've never experienced a culture like that. It had to be, just so unique.
Yeah, it was really cool. And I've traveled in rural Alaska, and I've been to well over 50 countries that weren't Anglo-American, like Europe type countries. So I've
Hmm.
been all of South America, a lot of Asia, and Middle East type stuff. So yeah, every culture is different, but Africa was pretty cool. And we only spent a couple days in the community. I mean, all the game, it's a game farm, but it's like 150,000 acres, and I think they added like
Right.
30 or 40,000 acres this year. They bought out
Wow.
some other cattle farms, so everything's wild. Uh, and the fences aren't really tall enough to stop the elephants from getting out, so they
Yeah.
just kind
Sure.
of
Yeah.
corral them to stay in the middle. Um,
Right. It's kind of a
uh,
suggestion.
yeah, and rhinos and elephants, they're big and they can go through any fence they want
Oh
anytime.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
things like jaguars can and cheetahs can jump and climb fences. So yeah, it keeps for the neighbors, it keeps the cows out so there's no diseases. Um, but yeah, it was really cool. And this group back in the 90s started taking people with disabilities out hunting. So their hunting lodge is fully wheelchair accessible, which is pretty cool. They have I think 12 rooms. One of them is really fully wheelchair accessible. The room I stayed in was a much nicer room, and it was wheelchair accessible enough to make it work.
Yeah, enough.
But
Right.
I mean,
Right.
the other room you could get a full electric chair in there, and because you just take up more space in an electric chair than you do in a
Right.
manual chair.
Right.
Um, but yeah, it could totally do that. And the lounge, they built a spiral elevator to get you up there with a 2,500 pound Warren winch to crank it up
Wow.
out of steel. So it's kind of hokey, but it's got a cage to keep you in. So it's
Yeah.
as long as you
Yeah. Yeah.
roll onto the platform, they'll strap you in and lock the gate, and then you go up to the lodge. And the lounge, I guess, has great views and snacks and places for looking at animals and drinks. And
We
um,
we're all about redneck ingenuity, man. If you can
Absolutely.
make it with
yeah,
a winch and a cable.
but in the middle of Africa, this lodge was completely wheelchair accessible, which is pretty cool. And I'm tall and strong enough, I can grab onto a grab bar and lift myself into a truck for driving.
Yeah.
So that was helpful. But they said they've helped out people that were very high level quads
Oh yeah.
Sure.
and strapped them in and made it work. They don't have a sip and puff trigger set up, but I'm sure if you needed that, you could bring your own at some point. But they
Yeah.
had ways to rig up all kinds of shooting stuff.
Sure.
We've talked to Chad and we know, how he got around. When you were doing safari or whatever, was there any certain kind of equipment? How did they get you out to hunt those 12 animals?
It was all in Toyota Land Cruisers.
Okay.
So we drove around and looked for them off in the distance. A couple times we'll do what you call a stalk because they hear a truck coming and they run because that's just the normal thing. It's a predator.
Right.
So we got out and I rolled the wheelchair like half mile through the bushes. But it's all
Wow.
flat and sandy. So there were a couple times they had to get me out of the sand. But on the roads, it's as long as you avoid thorns, you're okay. And I
Yeah.
ran tubeless tires. We picked out a lot of thorns. So
Oh, no doubt.
yeah, everything in Africa tries to kill you. Everything.
Right.
The plants have
Including some of
spikes.
the animals.
The animals have sharp things. The plants have sharp things.